Hello and welcome to Creating with Purpose. My name is Aidan Brookstone and I'll be your host. Creating with Purpose is a series of thought-provoking ideas that are each mindfully crafted to help you, the creator, bring more meaning, intention, and purpose to your daily practice of creativity. My personal philosophy is that we are all creative beings. From the way we style our hair to the way we conduct our own personal demeanors, everything we do is an act of creation that is unique to our being. So whether you consider yourself an artist, a plain old human, or anything in between, it doesn't really matter. The information I'll be presenting in each of these episodes is practical enough that, if put to proper use, will help you open the doors to a life that is much more fulfilling, exciting, and simply put, has you creating with purpose. Each episode will cover a topic, and I'll finish with something for you to reflect on based on our speaking point. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, we've discussed the importance of purpose. Great. But what does it matter if you know the importance of purpose if you don't know how to find your purpose? So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how the heck do we find our purpose? Now, I take a very faith-based approach to purpose. But faith in this context isn't talking about religion. I'm not talking about needing to be associated with any sort of religion in order to have a faith-based approach to purpose. But you do need to believe, to some extent, that everything happens for a reason. So why? Well, if we're to believe that everything in our lives is just random, then deriving purpose from randomness is a very difficult thing to do. If I were to believe that everything that happened to me as a kid was just random and had no meaning or purpose behind it, then I would probably just be a very sad adult at this point who would just be frustrated and angry at life. And to be honest, for a while, I really was. But there came a point in my journey where I learned that I just needed to let it go. That by holding on to anger and resentment towards my past, I was actually holding myself back from finding my purpose. I was trying to force things instead of just, in a sense, surrendering to it. So having a faith-based approach to purpose means taking an inventory of everything that's happened in your past and deriving value and meaning from it in order to figure out how can I take my pain in the past and turn it into something purposeful. It almost really always comes back to turning pain into purpose. You think of all the stories of people who have had tragic incidents in their past, who have found a way to turn it into something insanely meaningful, not just for themselves, but for others and for humanity at large. Imagine just how much it warms their heart to know that, sure, they've gone through something hard, but they were able to turn it into something positive for others too. That's a very beautiful thing. To give you an even finer look, let's just dive right into my own personal story. When I was a teenager, I loved to be on stage. I was really popular. I was the lead in the plays. It was a very good time in my life. You know, it was fun and all. I was 13. But what ended up happening was that I got a little too cocky and full of myself, and I lost all my friends overnight. And basically, I had this idea of what my life was, and it just all fell apart. And from that point onwards, I was always scared to be who I truly was and to put myself out into the spotlight, out of fear that maybe something was just wrong with me. And so I needed to hide aspects of myself in order to be safe in the world. Well, that continued for about another 13 years until eventually I reached a point where I was tired of hiding. I was tired of trying to be somebody else in order to people please, in order just to keep myself and the world safe. I got so sick and exhausted of closing myself in for the sake of safety and just not feeling any sense of connection to fulfillment, purpose, or mission. And I just got sick of it, and I just realized I had to change it. So over the last 3 years, I've been extremely focused on discovering my mission, my purpose, figuring out what it is that I'm here to do. And during this time, what I've had to do, it wasn't really something that I wanted to do, but it was just an internal push, was that I've reconnected with my love for performing, my love for putting myself out there, and being somebody that people can see and potentially even look up to. That was something that I shied away from for a very long time, and it's something that I'm learning how to embrace again because it's just a part of who I am, and I just need to own it, as much as I don't want to sometimes. So by tackling my fears and tackling my pain and accepting that, hey, you know what? Maybe everything that happened to me for a reason, and now I get to overcome it in order to be able to help others overcome it within themselves too. It provides me with a much deeper sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, purpose, waking up in the morning with a feeling of mission and like I have something to accomplish in my day because I've taken my pain and I've turned it into something meaningful, purposeful, and a way to serve others. So in the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about how purpose is something that we do as a service. We'll get into that. But for this episode, what I want you to reflect on is your own life. What has happened to you that could potentially be a point of purpose? Usually it's something very pivotal that happens. Maybe it's something similar to me where you were struggling in school and you lost your friends. Maybe it has something to do with the bullying you received. Maybe it has something to do with the way you were treated as an adult in a workplace. It doesn't really matter, but usually it's something that sticks out in your head, and you know what it is when you know what it is. So honor it and embrace it and say, hey, you know what? If this happened for a reason, what reason was that? And if you're able to stick to it and do the work, I truly believe you'll be able to come out with a lot more purpose than whatever you started this episode with. So thanks again for tuning in. My name's Aiden Brookstone. This is Creating with Purpose. I'm super grateful to have you here. And welcome to Studio Raphael. Studio Raphael is an art house for creativity that serves to uplift humanity. My goal here is to create meaningful, intentional, purposeful art that helps to bring people together and really help people find who they truly are. And my goal as well is to collaborate with other artists in the process and to really just create a place where people know they can come to Studio Raphael and they can find art that is just really powerful and meaningful, and you can just spend hours on it and not feel like you're wasting your time in the same way you would just scrolling through social media mindlessly. I really want to intentionally create a social media platform of sorts that doesn't feel as much like a waste of time, maybe. There's always a way to waste our times, but I just want whatever I'm putting out here to be really intentional. So if you see yourself as an artist that's interested in collaborating, please do reach out. I would love to hear from you. My goal is to build up the flagship program through Studio Raphael, a 12-week program where I work with artists in order to discover your mission, your purpose, and to create a meaningful piece of art out of it. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm sure it will be, and I'm really excited to dive into it more. And if that doesn't resonate with you and you're just here to learn more, then hey, that's awesome too. I'm excited to have you. So thanks again. Looking forward to the next episode, and hopefully I will see you around the studio sometime. Take care.